Should I have chemo or not? It's a very big question. And it's one that occupies the mind of almost everybody that is diagnosed. And the question is pretty simple. You know, we know that there are people who got well after they had chemotherapy. They are surviving cancer because they used chemotherapy. It's what the whole medical board prescribes to you as the only solution. It's one of the 3 gold standards, and they use it on everybody. The second thing is, you know that a lot of people get very sick, that they lose all their hair, they are vomiting, they feel terrible, and in the end they still don't succeed. Most people die of the side effects of chemotherapy. So what should you do? Will it help you or will it not? And there is a very simple concept behind that. A lot of people have already impaired detox mechanisms. Very impaired, very challenged, and if that's the case, and you put toxins, which chemotherapy is, into your body, well then that will cause a huge, a tremendous load onto your detox pathways, which can't get rid of the toxins, and through that they're recirculated in the body over and over again, and you have the side effects in the first place, and then you die of the side effects in the second stage. And this is really the main problem that you see when one person gets chemotherapy. They don't have a lot of side effects, and if they're eliminated very fast, and then they got rid of the toxins, and that's usually the people where it works. But then in the second stage, those people who don't have that elimination process, or it's not working properly, they suffer from the consequences. So this is a very important thing. You need to do research for yourself in the very first place, and that's done via a DNA test. If you do a DNA, nutrigenomic test, and you can find that up on top under coaches, nutrigenomic test, it's one of the best ways to see whether your detox phase 1 or detox phase 2 actually works or not. And there are a lot of other conclusions that really guide to that insight, but it's something that you need to do in the very first place. The second thing is you should look at the long-term results. And this is where I believe we have that tendency to take snapshot realities. Oh, that's a rich person, so he must be happy. Well, maybe not. Maybe there is a lot of other issues that we just don't see. We just see that one thing. In the same way, we look at a kind of fantasy when we think, oh, he got rid of cancer. Well, if you read the forums and you read through them very carefully, and I do that a lot. You know, I'm a bit strange, but I do that a lot, and I read for people what they write and what they look for. And it turns out I'm a 4th-time cancer survivor. I'm a 3rd-time cancer survivor. Well, I had chemotherapy. It just now came back, but and that's what I mean. It will always come back as soon as you use chemotherapy. It's a guaranteed fact because it causes mutations to your floating tumor cells. And that's something that is proven, scientifically proven, and I'll put a video up with Dr. Papasotorio where he explains that really well. The main issue is you have from every cancer cell, every tumor that is bigger than 1.4 millimeter in size, which is connected to the blood vessels, which is when they feed from the sugar, that's when they start to spread out into the body tumor cells. And it's so-called cancer stem cells, which then float around the body, and they will locate in different places and start the growth there. Now, if your immune system is up to the scratch and works hard, it will eliminate that. But in most cases, your immune system is already compromised. That's why the cancer developed in the first place. So those new cancers can form as well. And that's why this whole illusion of getting rid of the cancer and cutting it out is completely wrong. It's a systemic disease. Your cancer is already everywhere. And by using chemotherapy, you actually cause those cancer cells to mutate and become cancer or chemotherapy resistant. And that's what we see. A lot of people who had different cycles of chemotherapy, they become resistant and their cancers don't react. And that's what happens to the cancer stem cells. And that's why those stem cells then stay in your body and settle in different places, and it will come back. So whether it's a long-term solution or a short-term solution, well, that's the question. I believe that there is better alternatives. And one of the most important ones is to remove the cause. As soon as you remove what made you sick in the first place, as soon as you do that, you lighten the burden from your immune system, and we all know that the immune system is the only thing that can actually reduce the cancer load. So doing that as a very first step is, well, mandatory. The second step would be to find out which chemotherapy agents or natural killer agents would work best on your cancer cells. And you can do that with a test which is done in Greece, and it's a chemosensitivity test. Well, they test not only chemotherapies, they can test in total over 60 natural substances. And they will tell you exactly which substance works on your cancer best. And then you can use that or a combination of them in a very effective manner. The third step would be not to dabble around with little bits and pieces and a little bit of oral apricot kernels here and this. I would never go that half-hearted way. If I would do it, I would use IV treatments, high dose, high concentration, and see whether that has an effect. And then you see within a period of 3 weeks or 2 weeks, very dramatically, whether your cancer subsides and reduces. If it works, perfect, then keep on doing that and do that in cycles and intervals to get rid of the cancer. If it doesn't work, well, then you switch over and try something else. There is always a reason to every disease, and we need to find it and then work on that particular reason. The next one, which is a very, very important step, and a lot of people ignore that, is not focusing on the disease, but actually focusing on health. And that's a very important one, because when you look at disease and you're scared of disease and you focus on disease, well, you create more of it. So focusing on health and healthy lifestyle, healthy living, healthy habits, doing things that your body enjoys, that you enjoy, that your mind enjoys, is actually mandatory for you to have a reason to live. So instead of focusing on the dark side of life, focusing on the bright side. What can I do to make my day beautiful today? What can I do to feel great and feel happy? What can I do to support my immune system? And ongoing support the healthy part of you instead of focusing on disease. All right? And now just browse down and read all the different items that I've listed down that will give you some insights on what happens when you use chemotherapy and how you best avoid that.